Hello and welcome to TigerTails Gaming. My name is Xavier Wolf.
I am TK.
And I am Hedgie.
The gang's here.
We are all here eventually. And this is the TigerTails Gaming Game of the Year 2021 Awards.
Yay!
We actually have now made this as a thing. This is the first time that we are having an awards thing.
Yeah.
Literally.
And we put like work into this.
We're not sure what we're awarding, but
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
oh, okay.
Well, very sure.
Yeah, here's the concept. We have been playing for a long time on TigerTails Gaming, but especially with the COVID times, which feels like 20 years, we have been playing a lot of games on the channel. And seeing as this is literally the last stream of the year,
Literally.
Literally.
Like, the year ends in 3 hours' time for us.
Yeah.
actually, we thought, let's do a retrospective of what we've played. Let's do it in such a way that's going to be interesting. Let's call it our Game of the Year awards, because this is shit that we'll have played and probably seen on our channel.
Yeah, so unlike normal Game of the Year awards, where it's games that came out this year, we're doing games that are featured on the channel this year.
ooh.
Yeah, so...
There's only been like 1 or 2 recent games
I
of
know,
the
right?
year.
Yeah, we haven't played any modern games, so... Basically,
there's some.
if there's a game that was released sometime between yesterday and the infinite backlog of
while ago.
time...
Since when games were invented.
Exactly, then there's a chance it might show up on one of these lists.
Ooh.
So if you're expecting us to talk about things such as Returnal, things such as
Call of Duty.
Ratchet and Clank,
Ratchet and
the new one.
yeah, that unfortunately we've not played on the channel.
We've not played on the channel, although I now have Rift Apart, so we
Yes.
can feature it next year.
Hey.
Next year.
Yeah, in 3 hours' time.
Although Rift Apart does say that someone has been roasted till they've died.
There's the thing. So yeah, so we're going to be looking back at effectively all the games. There's been a lot of toing and froing between myself and TK. I say a lot of toing and froing.
Yeah, because Hedgie wasn't here for the discussion,
Yeah.
so...
But we did include, because of the games that Hedgie played, certain categories.
Yeah.
So I think that
Let's
is
have a look at the categories then.
where we need to move to.
Whoop.
Yay.
So we've got, for categories, we've got fighting.
Hang on a second.
Okay.
Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Why?
TK's doing things in the background.
TK is doing things in the background. Because for some reason...
Well,
It looks fuzzy on YouTube, but that might be because the YouTube is picking out the worst fucking resolution.
Yeah, you can
while,
refresh. Why?
while Mr. TK Tiger is sorting out these problems here, in the meantime, here's some music.
Or we could just go and talk about the categories.
We could do, yes. The categories are fighting, so one-on-one fighters and possibly sort of group beat-em-ups, depending on what happens. Puzzle games, these are your sort of Tetris, Puyo Puyo style, things like that.
You say that.
RPG, role-playing games, so probably Final Fantasy style, things like that. And also maybe the westerns as well. Driving, which speaks for itself. Tactical, I presume this would be sort of games similar to sort of the Metal Gear Solid style, where you've got to use a certain type of skill. Also, action. Most people are aware of these kind. Sports, everyone's favourite type of thing. Because remember, if you weren't good in school, you can beat your friends in virtual reality.
And we actually played some sports quote-unquote games on the channel.
Yeah.
Mascot Platformer, this is Sonic, Mario, etc. And Shooter, basically Call of Duty, Band of Brothers, that kind of stuff.
Just none of the ones he mentioned.
Indeed.
Exactly, yeah, none of those. Because we haven't played any of those.
None of those.
Which does make me wonder about the rest of these, because yesterday this all worked fine, but today it seems to be picking it up from a weird cache.
Oh, okay.
And it shouldn't be picking up for the weird cache.
Oh.
So let's have a look at the...
Fighting!
Yay. First category, fighting. So
Yes.
we played fighting games. So this is from Fight Night Fridays, or Friday Night Fights, depending on who's introducing it. And usually this was myself and TK. Occasionally it was Hedgie, for
Hello.
those people who witnessed the thing. So
The infamous one, yeah.
we have some nominations that we've taken.
Give us just a minute. Just waffle for a few.
We have
So,
some
Because
nominations.
for some reason this is caching all of the wrong images, and I'd like to know why.
Oh, God.
Fighting games, I mean, they've been one of the sort of the biggest sort of game in genres for years.
Biggest
I mean,
genre, but one of the hardest to break out, I would say, because as much as you've had the esports-ish
Oh, yes.
thing,
Yes, yeah.
it's always been niche, even in gaming, and it's always been one of these things which is, as much as I would love to get into it more, especially when I was younger, it was one of those things where it's very difficult because it's like, if in order to get better, you're going to have to play people who are better than you, and they're just going to kick your ass.
Pretty much. They're not going to give you sort of the ability to actually hone your skills.
Well,
which is
depends
why
who you
eventually
play, yeah.
they went, what if we put in a practice mode in the actual game so you can have a computer opponent fight you? That might be a good idea.
That said, the change for that then led into massive must practice these particular moves like Street Fighter 5.
Oh, yes.
Although the more recent ones and trying to be a lot more fluid, where it's a case of here's the moves, here's the basic controls, figure the shit out yourself and see how you puzzle match it, because there's DNF, which is Dungeon Fighter, which is a fighting game spin-off from Dungeon Online.
Okay.
Which is a side-scrolling fighter dungeon thing, which I wasn't aware of until I saw the videos from like Maximilian Dude, and little Alex has been playing that, so I'm interested in that one. And then there's also the League of Legends fighting game, which is coming.
Oh my word!
Which looks very good because it's got a kind of Arcane-esque style in terms of its appearance. And so far, it's actually going, yeah, we're making it so it's a good fighter, and I believe it's a tag fighter as well.
Ooh.
Yeah. So potentially we're going to see some interesting fighting games, because obviously this year, I think we've had Guilty Gear Zerd. Or Guilty Gear Strive.
Has there been a BlazBlue this year?
There might have been. I know the anime fighting community have been doing bits and pieces, but there's certainly not been any Mortal Kombat or Mortal Kombat versus DC. No Street Fighter, because that's wrapping up.
And no Tekken?
No Tekken. They're wrapping up the seasons on that, so we could. Now that PS5s actually physically exist in our locality, there could be a next generation fighting game.
Well, it's because Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Tekken were the three heavyweights that would always be fighting against each other. So they were the three big guns, and then you had the little guys like Skullgirls, BlazBlue, the Marvel vs. Capcoms that would go, hey, we're here as well.
Yeah, so. Marvel vs. Capcom, which was a really good fighter until they tried messing with the format.
Hey, don't forget about Beast's Fury, guys.
Oh, Beast's Fury.
Yeah, that's going back in times. Is that little chip in a comment that maybe we're ready to proceed?
No,
okay.
Sorry, I just wanted to make a joke about Beast's Fury.
Wow. Well, we basically got a demo out of it, which is what they kind of promised. So we got a demo.
Well,
it never went anywhere.
The game never existed because I think the whole the emphasis behind it kind of died, which was a bit of a shame.
Yes, it was.
A bit of a shame.
Yeah, because obviously, it was probably heavily inspired by Bloody Raw.
Bloody Raw was a big one.
Another one that the real sort of one of a big sort of Japanese esque kind of mythological sort of fighting type, where you've got people that change into different creatures.
Which was it was also surprisingly fluid, because that was one we've played on the channel.
And everyone who was a male played as Jenny the Bat.
Nope.
Well, yes.
I like the wolf.
You're not a hetero male, so yeah.
There was also Sonic the Fighters.
Yes, there was. Yes, Sonic Championship, known in Japan.
Dear God, I can't believe we played that on live.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh God, and in terms of outside of that, it's like you've got not King of Fighters.
King of Fighters, yeah, that does exist. That still exists.
It exists.
Yeah.
It's the Xbox one. Killer Instinct.
Oh, Killer! That was one that that was one that divided people, because in the arcade, it was one of those where it was a locked-in fighter.
Yeah.
So, for example, if somebody knew how to do it, once they were in a combo, you couldn't get out of that combo unless you performed a combo breaker.
Yes.
The only problem was you needed to know the combination for the combo breaker, and also you had to match their attack strength exactly.
Yeah.
So, of course, if someone starts with a combo on you and you've just started playing, you might as well just let go of the controller and stand there.
Well, sometimes some people did, but even the professionals sometimes do it. But it was a surprise cult hit, and then when they brought it back, my God, did that
Well, it started out in the arcades, came to the SNES, and everyone went, "Oh my God, this is amazing!"
Yeah.
And
then it came onto the Xbox for the redo. It was like, ugh, but it's been going so strong. I was watching primarily Maximilian Dude, but the community behind that was really cool. And I think this is also to do with the netcode, because obviously,
right, I
Wii
think
couch co-op.
we are fixed.
Hey!
The Techno Monkey potentially is
Hooray.
I cannot promise that the winner videos will work, but
Oh,
Well,
for some reason they're not showing in the previews anymore.
Oh,
Let's
God.
Let's see. So this
find out what
is.
happens.
It's only been sat there, so I
Yeah.
don't know what happened. So this is
Fighting genre.
So what are the nominations?
The nominees, Hedgie. Read them out as you see them.
very well. We have Bloody Raw.
Yay.
Or specifically Bloody Roar 2, but
Okay.
we've only really got the thumbnail for Bloody Roar.
Yep.
Yes.
The same with the next game.
We've got Soul Calibur 6, I believe.
That's correct, yes. We also have.
Tekken 3.
And finally,
Mortal Kombat.
Which is
9.
9. Yep, the
Mortal Kombat
2011 one.
You're
Mortal
correct.
Kombat 9. Here are your nominees for the fighting genre.
started.
And the winner is
Oh god.
Fingers crossed this works, everyone.
Tekken 3.
It works.
It works.
Hopefully.
Hooray.
Yes.
Yes.
this has
Super.
worked. Oh, thank God for that.
Dear God. So so Tekken 3.
Yes.
We've played a few Tekkens because we've had a few Friday Night Fights, but Tekken 3 I think was where they got the format and the inputs.
Yeah, they got everything right, basically. It was the best combat system because everything else since then has gone a bit too far and flashy. Yeah, it was smooth, it was fast. I mean, just look how gorgeous it looks.
I mean, five was pretty good.
This is 1996. Let's not
Well,
forget.
is this arcade or is this
This particular one is
This
it's the arcade
footage?
version of Tekken 3 that features in the arcade history section of Tekken 5.
Ah.
So it's emulated, but I ran it through a PlayStation 2 emulator so I could jack up the quality to 1080.
And we've played pretty much most of the Tekkens, so we do know what we're talking about when we talk about how good Tekken is in general. The one that we have the video that we can't show because of various reasons, where myself, yourself, Little Alex, and Hedgie were like swapping through. That was probably the best Tekken couch co-op we've ever had because I was there at the point where I was playing King well. I actually was like, yeah, I could do King. I could
Yeah,
kick
King is
everyone's
my
ass.
choice as well. I like King.
Yep, there we go. So yes, Tekken 3 is the winner of the fighting
Fighting
games.
genre.
So for our game of the year, it's
Tekken 3.
You are the champion. So it was good fun. Good
And the next genre is puzzle.
Right, so
This is a stretch, this one.
Yeah, here's where we started having issues. Originally it was like, oh, you pick your favourite 5. That's how we started this conversation. Pick your favourite 5. And then it was case, oh, we've done a lot of games. Why don't we have categories? How the fuck do we put these into categories?
Yeah.
So puzzle is the one which kind of is. There are some puzzle games because we've had
Yep.
puzzle games on the channel, including Karushi, which is not this year.
That was last year.
It was last year.
We did so many of them last year.
Yeah, because it's fucking PlayStation.
PlayStation months covered us a great many genres.
Yes. So this kind of is as the stuff that we could put into the category, which is close enough to puzzle, and would get stuff out of other categories where we wanted other stuff to win.
Yes.
Hey.
Don't just peek behind the curtain there.
Don't ask us to organise an award show because sorry, we've moved your game. Why? Because we wanted someone else to win.
Well, isn't that the way they always work?
No, they don't.
Well, it depends if it's public vote or not. But this wasn't a public vote, so it doesn't matter.
All right,
Who
so
wants to read out the nominees then?
I'll do it again if you want.
let
Okay.
Hedgie have his fun.
Okay. So, puzzle games.
Aren't you going to say who the nominees are?
Oh, I thought you were going to put it on the screen.
You say the nominees first. Who the
And
nominees
the
are?
nominations are
There we go.
Bug Snacks,
Crack.
Brock the Investigator,
Technically a point and click, but we're calling it puzzle.
Oddworld Munch's Odyssey,
Technically a platformer, but there are puzzles, so fuck you.
and finally, Hard A.
Yes, I know it's a Resident Evil clone, but fuck off. There were puzzles. They're honest.
And the winner is...
Xavier's not wrong for most of these.
by default, Brock the Investigator. Because
point
it's
and
the
click.
only one that technically counts as a puzzle game.
There are puzzles in there, honest.
There are puzzles in all of the nominees. But this is... We needed Brock to win.
It's not that there's fighting mechanics in this game as well.
It's known as a punch and click.
Yes.
Because it's,
Well,
it's
I mean-
a hybrid of
Yes.
the point and click adventure plus side-scrolling beat-em-ups.
It's like, don't you recall that with frickin' Full Throttle?
Yes. Yes.
Full throttle.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So this is why I think I really enjoyed playing this, because the LucasArts point and click games.
Yep.
Oh god,
Yes.
that era of stuff was fantastic. Admittedly, it was grind item against item and item against character. At least it wasn't as bad as the Discworld ones. that
Oh
did
god, I could never complete the first Discworld game.
I had to get a guide for the first one, and Discworld Noir, I just failed.
Yeah.
Whereas Brock is a lot more logical because you can
Yes.
solve the puzzles either by puzzling
Yeah.
or by beating the shit out of it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I think there are multiple ways of
Yes, there
dealing
are.
with stuff, which
and
is
you will
is
get
brilliant.
the little progression thing at the end.
Yes.
But this is the game's coming out next year.
Yes.
It's not out
Hey.
yet, but the prologue is on Steam right now,
Hey.
and it's free. You have no excuse. Go and download it. Go
Yes.
and play it. Leave it a good review, and,
Hey.
then go and wishlist the full game.
It's very good, and it does remind me of what Hedge mentioned, the LucasArts game that now
Yes.
I can't remember. Full Throttle.
Full throttle.
Yeah.
Because
Throttle.
that had some tiny fighting mini games for various
It
things.
did, yes.
And other little bits and pieces, but it's just drew you into the world, and thankfully this one does.
Your time's about to run out as well, by the way.
Oh,
Okay.
he says that, but we've only just beaten up the robot.
Yep. Yeah, you got a few seconds left.
Yeah.
So there we go. Brock the Investigator wins the puzzle category.
For Game of the Year.
Yes,
TigerTails
indeed.
Gaming.
Yep.
Yes. Terribly sorry to the other guys in the category. Terribly
Okay.
sorry.
And the next
not.
one, RPG, or role-playing game, as we call it.
Yeah. So this one, there's been a few more that we've played in this category, and
I
was a
noticed
bit
you
easier.
say we've played.
I-
You've played.
I-
I realised as I was putting all this together, I've not played a single one of these on the stream. These have all been you.
At least some of them you have. Well, at least maybe a couple of them you have played. So the RPG section was a little bit easier to put into categories, and thankfully,
There were some RPGs in it.
there were some RPGs
Hey!
that were really quite good that I could put into this category. Right, so let's go for the nominations. So the nominations for RPG Game of 2021, Vagrant Story.
Oh.
Yes, the one I completed at the beginning of this year. Kingdom Hearts.
Oh.
The first one. Again, I completed, and this was Stream and Chill. Holy fuck, that was on proud mode. The one I'm currently playing, which is Alpha Protocol. See? It says it's an RPG.
RPG.
That's why it's in the RPG
counts,
section.
It counts. It's there. It counts.
Not a tactical shooter at all. And
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk, because technically there is RPG elements.
We needed to round out
I've
to
been
4.
assured. I've been assured that there are RPG elements in it.
Yes,
so it
there are
counts.
RPG elements in this game, even it is quite a shooter. So, the winner for the RPG category is...
You might see a couple of these games appearing in other categories, by the way, just to round out
Oh.
numbers.
Yes, so the winner is... Vagrant Story.
Vagrant Story.
Of course it is. One of the
This is
actual
a
RPGs.
JRPG, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Ah, yes.
A niche game that has never been revisited from Square Enix, much to my annoyance. But oh my fucking god, is this tiny little game so good? There's
How
a lot
long
of.
does it last?
I completed this in about 16 2-hour sessions. And that's slow.
It took him bleeding ages because he kept on going against this character here,
Yeah.
the end boss.
The end boss.
This is massive end game spoilers.
Yeah, this is the end fight, and this is what you're seeing is the culmination of what's his first phase. The culmination of me trying to complete this game because I couldn't when I originally had it. It was such a game that drew me in when I originally bought it, and when I played it on the channel. That I really just wanted to. It drove me to complete it for one, and it drove me to research into all of the little bits and pieces, why it had gaps, because it wasn't fully completed. They had to like go, okay, we can't do everything we want to do, so we're just going to have to release a game in order to get this out. And it's just a fantastic world. He is just a cock, by the way. Yeah. There are a lot of reasons for that. As much as it's old and dated, I found it really fun to play this on the PS1.
But it does look at the same. It does look at the same style that Final Fantasy VII was in.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of same style, but the
It's kind of the same age.
mechanics are so different. It's just a shame that Final Fantasy completely hammered over this, because this is one of those that I feel really could do with a remake. No, not even a remake, a remaster, fucking sequel. It's like, god damn it. I mean, the story is sometimes a little bit batshit crazy, but holy fuck, the world was fantastic to delve into. And I can only imagine what this would be like on, current edge graphics.
Whoa.
How good that would be.
Okay. So the next category is driving.
You may want to hold that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that as in if you put that on the side.
Oh, yes, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
it's
it's his wine. He was putting it, and it was slowly tilting. It was like, no, hold it.
So yeah, driving games. The genre we know of certain styles, for example, the Formula One style where you have to follow the track, and the open world style where it's literally, I'm just going to go anywhere. So Motorstorm or Twisted Metal, that kind of thing. So,
So the question is, who do we blame for the driving category? Hedgie. Who do we blame for the driving category? Hedgie. Who do you think we blame for the driving category? Hedgie.
Well, when you consider his Wednesday streams where he was filling in for your absentees,
Yes.
he's mostly played driving games.
As in all of them.
Yes. No, actually, not all of them.
No.
So there you go. So let's have a look at the nominees, shall we?
the nominees are Motorstorm Apocalypse, Outrun 2006,
Which we've played a few times. Not this year.
Juiced, and finally Tokyo Highway Challenge.
Which I did heck.
And the winner is...
We chose this, not Hedgie.
Drum roll, please.
Bum, bum, bum.
Outrun 2006.
Yep, we have played it this year.
Yep.
This was a backup game after Mr. Xavier had to endure Prism, if you recall.
I thought you said prison.
No, Prism.
It's like, what?
Prism was a terrible
Dark
action mascot adventure that was so
Travesty.
bad that I could not even fill like a half of the normal stream. So this is actually our 3-player run.
This is the game that inspired me to buy multiple PS2s for the
And
Oh,
this
I
was
see.
us on multiple PS2s and recording the footage from different rooms, if I
A few
recall.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a bit of an old footage, but,
Yeah.
it's
But we have
useful
played
to have
it.
stock footage.
Yeah.
Hence why I have a folder called stock footage.
Yeah, we have played this year, but it is shockingly this is a fun game. Admittedly, it's not
is.
one that I can sit down and play as a single player.
No, it's not
which
got
is
much
why I
longevity to it, but for
don't
a quick bit of arcade action,
Yeah,
especially when you've got a multiplayer lobby up and going, because you've got
Yes.
multiple PS2s running on the same LAN, then yeah, it's great fun and well worth the time. And you can also find this game in arcades,
Yes.
so you can actually play a
If
big
you can still
captive
find
version.
an arcade.
Also the only way to really fun unlock all of the money to unlock everything, because doing the single player whilst entertaining to unlock is,
It does the job.
it does the job. But I like listening to TK bitch every time he comes first, and everyone else gets more fucking points than him.
That's unfair.
He's like, I've won, but you've got more money. How does that work?
Get what Outrun Miles. This is not fair.
And the inevitable, we can't steer around corners, so we use other players as turning aids, hence that clip there.
Yeah.
And then me going, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
And then like, no, I'm staying in front until I get knocked off the
yeah.
wall by the Xavier passing by. Yeah, the cheating shit. Let's move on.
Oh, dear me. So that was the driving category. We're halfway through. We are at the
Yeah.
halfway point.
And it's tactical.
Yeah, and it's shocking how many games, because there's like 4 for each, and haven't been duplicated yet. Mostly.
Yeah.
This is another one that we kind of had to crowbar things in because
Well,
it was...
It wasn't so much a crowbarring, is that we had a bunch of games that we knew were kind of in the same
Yeah.
kind of sphere,
Yeah.
just not necessarily in the same genre. And so we kind of clumped them together in the same sphere, and then had to come up and think of a name for them.
Yes.
So we came up with Tactical.
Yeah, it's that thing you do on your Steam games when you're trying to put them into groups. It's like, well, these things kind of are like the same thing, kind of. So I'll put them under a title. Oh wait, they also include that. So I'll adjust the title slightly.
Yeah, and in the end, this was the title we'd adjusted to.
Yes.
And
Tactical.
the nominees for the Tactical games are Armello,
Ooh.
Yep, a good tactical tabletop style board game.
Necromunda Underhive Wars,
So this is also a tabletop game, but actually put on the PC.
Mutant Year Zero, Road to Eden.
Based on a RPG, but we put it in tactical because, to be honest,
It's a tactical.
it's a tactical
It's an XCOM.
XCOM style game. Yeah.
And finally, Alpha Protocol makes a return.
Yeah, it is also got tactics in it, kind of.
The espionage bit more than the RPG bit this time.
Yeah, there are tactics that you can use. Just don't watch my streams for tactics.
And the winner of the tactical category is Mutant Year Zero,
Ooh,
Road to Eden.
Yeah. It was a little bit harder when we started putting the things together, aside from Alpha Protocol. But this is what I would say is very much a tactical game. TK is very much further than I am on his multiple playthroughs.
Yes, because I've platinumed it.
Yeah, I am still playing through this game, and there are XCOM comparisons, but this is so not like XCOM.
It's like XCOM Lite in terms of some elements, but then XCOM basically says, here's the grid, you're stuck to it forever.
Yeah.
Whereas Mutant Year Zero says, here's the grid, you're stuck to it during battle.
Yeah.
When you're not in battle, have a wander round. You'll find resources and crap. You will need these. Oh, and by the way, you can pick and choose your fights. So if you
Yes.
don't want to fight all of the bad guys all at once, you can pick off them one by one.
Yeah.
Which makes your life so much easier.
If you're interested in actual advice on this, this will appear on the Friday streams occasionally. But I will say, if you're wanting to play this is probably one of the games that doesn't telegraph well that some fights you should avoid, some places you need to discover so much shit. Oh, a trophy.
Yes.
And some things you need to basically cheese the fuck out of it. Totally.
And save scumming is your friend.
Yes.
Unless you play on Iron Mutant mode, which means you do not get to have manual saves.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But I would say only do that once you've played the game a fair few
Yeah,
times.
when you've got good at it.
Well, when you've got used to the systems, because whilst I say it's XCOM and TK will mention XCOM, this isn't quite like XCOM.
See, here goes. This is the free roaming, but you can just go around picking up loot and things.
And as much as you might think, oh yeah, I can go through characters, you kind of don't want to go through characters because you don't have many.
You can swap your squad around, but you don't want to let them die because they stay dead.
Yeah, permadeath even in
Ooh.
normal.
Yeah, permadeath sucks.
So yeah, that was the winner for tactical. So looking back, we've had fighting, which was
Tekken 3.
Puzzle, which was Brock the Investigator, RPG, which was Vagrant Story, Driving, which was Outlook 2006.
Outlook.
Outlook. Yes, that mailing system. Outrun.
Yeah.
You're driving by your emails.
Tactical, which was Mutant Year Zero. So we now have the action
Ooh.
game. So if you notice further down, we've separated Mascot Platformer. This is not the Sonics. This is not anything like Spyro.
That was a long pause there.
Trying to think of.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that there won't be a kind of a mascot character in these action games, but these are more kind of the focused on either hack and slash or shooting rather than running around collecting stuff.
It's a lot more jumpy, leapy, involved. You're taking part in the action of things.
Yes. It's not a run around collectathon.
Which we actually have a few that we've played on the channel, which was quite nice.
Yeah, that was actually a nice selection. We didn't have to fudge this much.
No,
Hey.
thank God. So, let's see who the nominations are for action. So we got Stories, The Path of Destiny, or
Ooh.
Fox, as we
Red
keep
Arthur
referring
Fox.
to Fox. Zone of the Enders, the second
Oh.
runner, which I played on a Friday stream. Demon X Mechanica. This was a Try New Things stream.
Machina, yeah.
Which is a very action, a third party action game, or third person action game. And then Alien Isolation.
Oh.
Yes, there is action in it, mostly where I die.
There wasn't on Xavier's stream.
There was.
There was
I
very little
died.
action.
I died a lot. Okay, and the winner for the action title for us in 2021 is
Stories. The
Foxes,
Path
yes.
of Destiny.
Yeah. I honestly did not have any good argument for the others to overcome this one. Several reasons, one of which TK invested to the point where he wanted to platinum this, for
And
one.
successfully did so.
Wow.
And then for two, bring it onto our stream to show him platinuming the game. So
Whoa.
this is very much action hacky slashy, and what you saw was the game introducing a mechanic that you have to kind of like keep track of, because this fighting game has multiple enemies, multiple mechanics, before we start talking about or even mentioning how it works the story.
The story is interesting because it is literally a book.
Yeah.
Oh.
As you saw at the start there, basically you're given a book which doesn't predict the future, so, but it allows you to see how things will play out.
Yes.
It almost looks like if someone went, what if we make Arkham Asylum but make it furry? Yeah.
Not quite. This is so not Arkham Asylum.
But basically, this is almost like a choose your adventure style book.
Oh.
But you actually physically play the fights and things that happened within the stories.
Yes.
So there'll be a series of kind of paths that you can take, and so in the tradition of keeping your finger in the page almost. You go through each of these particular chapters of the story to find out what the ending will be. And in this case, this is one of the endings that we're showing now. I know, just one of the endings. What you're looking for is the true ending.
Which was multiple playthroughs for you.
Yes, well, there's not that many playthroughs to get to the true ending. It's quite easy to get to, but then you get the achievement for actually unlocking all of the endings.
And I'm guessing that's how you get the platinum?
That's one of the... Yes, you need to get all the trophies. And so, yes, having to do that was indeed one of the ways of getting the platinum. And getting the platinum was well worth it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'd recommend it.
Yeah, so that was our action for 2021.
Okay.
Smaller
now
category.
it's sports. The thing that you weren't good enough for your dad to love you.
That's harsh. That is
It's
harsh.
also a John Oliver joke, which I
was going to say,
remember
it's
I
also
stole.
not strictly true. The one thing that I wasn't good enough for my dad to really love me was being straight.
Moving swiftly on. So sports, we actually played some sports-like games.
Not many.
Not many, but
As you'll see from the number of nominees we have. in this
Enough,
category.
though.
enough to actually warrant a category, but there's a reason for that.
Really?
So the nominees for sports, probably our smallest category, for best game for 2021, or for sports game 21, Extreme Skate Adventure
By Disney.
Yeah, basically pro
So
skate.
you can play as Buzz Lightyear on a board.
It's just Extreme Skate, not pro skate. Yeah.
It's based on the Pro Skater 4 engine,
Oh,
though, which is good.
it's just terrible. And SSX.
SSX snowboarding.
Yeah.
The winner is.
Two whole games. I couldn't fudge any other games. Nothing was sport. I couldn't fudge any of the driving games
we
because they weren't
don't-
sporty enough.
We don't do sporty style much. So the winner for this is...
Flip a coin. Which heads to tails?
It's got to be SSX.
Yeah.
You're quite right.
It is SSX. It is probably the best snowboarding game series that's been
When you don't
released.
include Tricky, yep.
And this was the one that was released on the PlayStation 3, which was to sort of accommodate all the other ideas from the other games and bring it into one big sort of open world style.
Yes.
For example, on this one, you can travel to various mountains throughout the world. You have to defeat a mountain using a certain tactic. For example, if you go on Everest, you go up so high that you actually need oxygen, so you have to buy oxygen tanks, and the better the oxygen tank, the longer you can stay up at high altitudes. At Kilimanjaro, you get a lot of trees that are fallen down, you can hit the branches, so you need to buy some armor that's actually going to protect you from that, and the better armor, the more tree strikes you can take, and that sort of thing. So there is an element of almost sort of preparation in this kind of thing. You've got to purchase a few things. In some of them, you're going through underground caves, so you're going to need a light to be able to see. So again, you've got to preempt for that. But of course, there is the mode where you can literally just go, I want to go full on skating full on racing, and it's pretty much just go all out as you did in the original SSX games. So if you are interested in that kind of thing, this is probably a good one, and which is probably why it won, because it just offers that much more than Disney Extreme Skater.
Yeah, there's a lot that it offers different to Disney Extreme Skater. To be fair, I do
gameplay.
I do think we kind of need to go back to the SSX series and franchise for next year,
So we can win a second time.
so we can win a second time. But I certainly think there are some good games, because there is a good bit of skill in some of them.
Oh yeah.
So it makes it interesting and fun to play and to learn. But yeah,
Moving on.
moving
Yeah.
on.
It's Mascot Platformer. This is Sonic, Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, Mario, if we ever played that character, which I don't
Which
think
we
tried.
won't, because we're not going to feature Nintendo games on this
Nintendo.
channel due to
Okay.
their shitty policies with
Yeah.
YouTubers.
They have a tendency to strike
anyway.
stuff down. So yeah, so technically we could say just Sonic in general, because strangely enough,
We've played enough Sonic games for a whole category.
We
of time.
have, yeah.
played a lot of Sonic
Well,
games.
it's been Sonic year, so
Yes.
what do you expect?
Yes.
So, Mascot Platformer. And the nominees are Sonic
game.
Mania Plus,
Yes.
Spyro, Year of the Dragon,
Another classic.
Ty, the Tasmanian Tiger.
That Aussie game.
And finally, Ratchet and Clank.
The PS1 original.
And the winner is...
Who do you think?
Who do you think? And,
It's Ratchet and Clank.
I have to say, this was probably one of the categories that I would fight for this the hardest, because as much as Sonic Mania is on there, and Sonic Mania is not a bad game. Sonic Mania Plus, well, Sonic Mania in general...
I really fought for Sonic Mania.
...is good. Yeah, I mean, to bring back Sonic 2D platformer from effectively the dead, it says something. I'm just hoping that whatever Freedom is going to be... the 3D Frontiers is going to be the thing to bring back 3D ones.
The Sonic platformers never went away. They were just on the handheld systems.
They were just shit. So this is, however, Ratchet and Clank, the first one. It's one of those games that made me sit down and complete it because of...
Not on the stream, you haven't?
Not on the stream, no, but because of the characters, the story, the world. I mean, the sheer fact that we're talking about a 3D world that you're seeing us go through now on this train bit, that's so full. And as much as
PS2.
Yeah, on the PS2. As much as there is a remake on the PS4
Of the first game, yeah.
of this game, and the comparison is fucking amazing. It's still so iconic to me to see the train fight that we're going through there, and remembering things like the skateboard, the jetboard sections, having the jump, the skid boots, and learning those skid boot sections so that I didn't die on the rails, the magnet boots and those sections where I actually had to like focus a bit more because it was like, okay, this is getting a bit weird as the camera angle shifted. The golden bolts, the skill bolts, the shit that the game didn't tell you about until you accidentally did a thing. And suddenly it went, hey, here's this thing. You know, there's a hell of a lot in this game that makes me want to go back and play it.
Well, that's good, because you should.
Yes. Even though we've now got all of the Ratchet and Clank games that all do that.
We could probably do a run of the Ratchet and Clank games.
Yes. Just a few.
And the final category we've got is Shooter.
Yeah. So again, this is another category where I've unsurprisingly played a lot of these games.
Unsurprisingly, because they make me puke.
Yes. But not the big tent poles. We barely play those on stream, so which is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah,
Call
the
of
heavyweights
Duty-
don't feature on this channel.
Well, Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, Battlefield. As much as I've enjoyed playing through that on like, because we've got like PS Plus, so you can get the free games. Trying to play the single player campaigns feels a little bit aside from Modern Warfare, because I really enjoyed those single player campaigns. The multiplayer though is one of those situations where I'm just like, oh my god, what the hell is going on? Why the hell are these people just running around corners and head shooting me and then skidding off? Is like, yeah. So a lot of the stuff that you're seeing is outside of that, and will be stuff that's primarily single player shooters. But yeah, so what are the nominations?
Ooh,
The nominees are Titanfall 2,
Oh,
Did play that this year.
Necromunda Hired Gun,
oh,
Shadow the Hedgehog,
Because he has guns and it's a shooter. Yeah.
Yep.
and sneaking in again, Cyberpunk 2077,
2077.
Yes, because it also technically is a shooter as well as an RPG,
among other things.
among other things.
Shadow.
You're being very optimistic, Edgy.
The winner is
Titanfall 2.
Here's a game that has good gunplay, which
Ooh.
is a good thing. Has interesting world, even better. Has interesting character relationship. The story is cheesy as fuck, but it's really fun how they do it. But you have BT as your Titan, and literally your friend as you're trying to get through this crazy situation that you, who originally was just a spod, and now is a Titan pilot, having to deal with. And it's a big thing. It's like, you're a Titan pilot. You're now having to deal with fuck off big robots and armies and exploding ticks like you've seen in the background. And just playing the single player campaign is just fun because you have these immersive worlds, this control system that allows you to do stuff that you don't do in a lot of shooters, a flow that makes you feel powerful and awesome even when you're dying, which is pretty damn impressive, especially when you realise it's like, suck thumb behind wall game. But you're constantly moving. You've got the Titan you can call in for combat. You've got multiple different weapons. You've got multiple different supports. The Titan with multiple different weapons. Multiplayer's borked, and I did try to play it on stream, but unfortunately the PC is still knackered because of DDoSing. But yeah, I can't not recommend that as the best shooter game. It is fantastic. So here we are with the original premise for what this stream would be.
Yeah, before it got well out of hand.
Well out of hand. Unfortunately, because Hedgie was working and doing stuff, he hasn't got his top 5. But we can guess, because we've mentioned Sonic and we've mentioned Shadow.
Yeah, basically, Xavier's played Sonic Adventure 2, so that'll be on Hedgie's shortlist. Shadow will be on Hedgie's shortlist. Probably, maybe Sonic Mania, maybe not. It's 2D.
You played Sonic Unleashed?
Yep, Sonic Unleashed might be.
Which was weird, because that was the not good one.
That was the PS2 version, yep.
The PS2 version.
So we've had many games.
Yep.
So because myself and Xavier both picked the same game to be number 1, that will be the game of the year overall.
Yes.
Hey.
So these are effectively the honourable mentions, or these are our top 5 to 2
Yeah,
games.
the original discussion we had. So top 5 to 2. So we will start with
Your 5th place game.
number 5. Kingdom Hearts. So this is probably one of those, outside of Final Fantasy, one of the big influential RPGs that I played. Yes, Final Fantasy characters were in there. Yes, it's Disney. Yes, the fucking companions are useless. But holy shit.
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
Holy shit, was this a game that drew me in and now has a world and storyline and plot that actually requires me, whenever I play a game from this franchise, to sit down and watch multiple videos so I too can sit there and go, I still don't have a fucking clue what the story is. But yeah, I mean, it was a hard fight for some of these, but Kingdom Hearts is definitely on my number 5.
It's also number 1 on the most copyright detected videos.
Because of Under the Sea, that motherfucking one level. God damn it.
It's like, content ID.
Even
content
Vagrant,
ID.
no, not just that. It was also the fucking intro song and outro song for the
Simple and Clean.
Simple and Clean. God damn it. Oh, this is really cool. Oh shit, I'm gonna get struck.
Number 4 on your list.
Number 4. Titanfall 2.
2.
I love the game. We've already mentioned it. It's a really fun shooter, and it's one that I've replayed several times now.
Off stream.
I'm not going to ever get like all of the trophies, because some of them are like fucking
Obscene.
Multiplayer shit, but it's fun. I really do enjoy it, and I certainly recommend it, and I hope at some point they'll come back and do a Titanfall 3 if and when they get off of Apex.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. But yeah, so that managed to edge out Kingdom Hearts.
Number 3 in your list.
Hey, this was a surprise. This really was a surprise.
This is quite a late addition to your list, isn't it?
Yeah, this came in as we were finalising this, because we had the discussion and then we finished this stream. 2 parts to this stream. We could have done it in one if I'd powered through. But this is a game that here is you playing 2 brothers in a story where there's basically no actual English being spoken and no text to read, on a very simple premise story. You're looking to save your dad. Here's your one controller with 2 sticks and 1 button for each brother. Off you go. And it tells a story through not only what you're seeing on the screen, so how you're interacting with the characters, not only via the sounds and that, but also literally through the controls that you are using with just trying to control these 2 brothers.
I wouldn't say too much more, because this is one of those games that's best if you go into without having things spoiled. You
need to play this. The fact that it did what it did by the end of the game made me turn around and go, yeah, that's one that I think would be better than Titanfall 2, better than Kingdom Hearts, which are very, very good games, purely because it went, yeah, you know what? Yeah, there's your feels, and not only that, there's an entire game that made you compelled to not only finish it, but actually go, shit, you're good. I would recommend this absolutely to anyone who wants to pick up a fun. It's about 4, 5, 6 hours, but a fun game.
Not even that.
Yeah,
It's about 3-4 hours.
yeah. If you're running through it, but there's tons of stuff to explore.
I like it because it's a game that respects the fact that I'm not made of time.
It is a solid game. So that was my number 3,
Your number 2.
Vagrant Story.
Of course it was.
Yeah, the game that I got 20 plus years ago on the PS1, and several times when I owned the PS1 22 years ago, I tried to complete and couldn't. I couldn't fathom out one particular section that would get me to the final boss that you literally saw me do the first stage for. I couldn't figure out what I'd missed. And then PS2 came along, trade all your shit in. I wasn't too fussed about it at the time, but when we moved into here for the house and we had the opportunity to get the studio up and running, and it was like, oh yeah, let's do some regular streams, I went, I want to complete this game. I am sick to death of the fact that I couldn't do it back then. So I started it as a regular stream, and I got a fair few people commenting on the fact that he looks like an alien, which is fine. But I completed a game that I started 20 years ago.
And it only took him about 20,000 sessions to do.
No, only
Wow.
about 16. At the beginning of this year, I completed it
It
live on
snuck in
stream.
January.
Yeah,
There were like 2 episodes left.
I was
Squeaked
at
in.
the point where I was hoping to do it by the end of the year, couldn't, and it was a case of I really need to try and finish this because it was like so close. But yeah, I mean, this is a JRPG that I would really love to have a proper continuation or something else. As much as I love Final Fantasy, I like the world, I like the style, I like the mechanics. The story's cheesy, but I'll happily go back for the ridiculous evil villains and bondage leather gear assassins and unfortunate one section that had a fucking company content ID their music every time I ran through it. Thanks. Not even their music. Fuck you.
But that wasn't your number 1.
No, that was not my number 1.
So let's
So
go
we have to
through
talk to TK now.
my 5 to do
Whoa.
games. And this list actually changed within the last couple of days.
Yes.
I'd already settled my list and then had to make amendments.
Oh dear.
So, my 5th place game is Armello.
Oh.
I didn't think I'd get into this because it's a card-based tactical game.
Well, it's a tabletop game, not based on a tabletop game.
Yeah, it is a tabletop board. It's a board game. Sorry,
Yeah.
not a card game. It's a board game that's actually made for digital.
Oh.
There's no physical version of this game available apart from the ones that people have custom made.
Yeah, four-player game. You've got multiple different characters you can select, and they all have different abilities
Strengths and
and
weaknesses,
things.
yeah.
You have different things that you can tack on, so you can have different builds. And then when you play the game, your build choice could then change dramatically based on
The cards you get.
The cards
You
and
do
the
get
RPG.
cards in this game.
not RPG, RNG of the game.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of RNG in this game. And yeah, you basically make your way through the board. You get 3 action points per turn, so you can move 3 places, and on those moves you can do various things. You can enter into fights if you want to take squares. You do have missions to achieve along the way, and you've also basically the plot is to kill the king
Yes.
Oh.
or to save the king, to cure him because he is infested with the rot, which is driving him insane.
Although there are some other ways of being able to win.
Yeah, there are a few win conditions.
There are a few win conditions, which makes it interesting because you've played this with myself on stream.
Yep. And I've also played it with Catanata, the creators of the Gay Pardo comic, who we talk about on TigerTails Radio occasionally. And I've also played it with the Lovely Shades. So, I don't know if Hedgie's played this yet.
No, I haven't.
So we should,
I'm the one person who has not played this.
we should fix that. It's on consoles and it's on PC. And a future patch for the consoles is going to introduce crossplay.
Holy shit,
Whoa.
that'd be good.
Yeah,
good.
they're going to bring the consoles up to PC level, apparently.
Oh,
I
thank
thought,
God.
I thought crossplay was where you're allowed to get angry.
No, that's only
just
while
default.
you're playing, yeah.
This game is a
playing.
dick.
There are times
It's
and
very
things. Yeah, it is. a
And
fun game.
so that is why it became number 5 on my
All right.
list. In number 4 on my list, we have
Brock the Investigator.
as we
Yes.
covered. Yes, the
Gee,
punch.
I wonder why.
Well, it might be to the tune that I've forked out a ton of cash on Kickstarter for it. So I will actually get a digital avatar in the game.
Some bias. There is, however, a good point-and-click game.
It is.
Which is well thought out with the branching, because we didn't really properly talk about that when we brought this up as the winner of the RPG. No, puzzle
category, yeah.
So you can influence events so that your story will be unique to someone else's story. And this is just the prologue. And there are things that you can stumble across and then wander off and then come back and find that because you haven't interacted, the story has progressed, which is actually quite impressive. Because normally when in these point and click games, you wander off, come back, and they're still having the same conversation.
Yes.
But no.
Monkey Island.
That's not necessarily the case with Block. But the first chapter is available now. It's the prologue is up on Steam. The prologue is basically chapter 1 of the game. There are 6 chapters in total when the game will release. As I say, it's not out yet, so you can go and wishlist it on Steam. Lots of people need to give this game lots of love, basically. It's really well animated. It's all, as you saw in the opening earlier video there, it's all hand-drawn animation. So it is well worth going and investing some. I was going to say some money in, but there's no point because the prologue is free.
Hey.
You will literally have no excuse. It runs on a bean. Even my old computers can play it. In fact, the footage captured was from the PC I have upstairs, which is an off-cast machine that was already 6 years old when I got it, and it had been purchased 6 years prior to it being 6 years older. So it's about 12 years old, this machine, and that ran it and allowed me to capture at the same time.
Wow.
So that's how systems unintensive the prologue is. You have no excuse. The full game might not be quite so gentle, but there's a lot of it, apparently, because I'm in the Discord for the game as well. And the creator has said that, yes, the full game may be a little bit more systems intensive than the current one, but you've got no excuse not to go and play the prologue. Do it immediately after the stream ends.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Next on my list is Stories, The Path of Destinies. I platinumed this game. I put a lot of time. There's a lot of grind in this game, and it's a lot of repetition because you do go through each portion of each chapter, basically, multiple times to get all the different endings. A bit like you do with Shadow the Hedgehog there, Hedge.
Yeah.
You've got the multiple endings there, but just imagine that, but you get much more of an actual choice at the end of each one.
Yeah,
and it influences how the story is told to
it's a
reach
bit easier to
ending.
do the stories because the choice, being able to choose the things in Shadow, was you had to either do the good thing or do the bad thing, and sometimes the game would suddenly go, "Oh, you've not done the good thing, so you're doing the bad thing now." It's like, okay.
Whereas Stories, it's a bit more, here's how the story has unfolded based on what you've done so far.
Yes.
And now you've got a choice. You can take the story in this direction, or you can take the story in that direction. Which one will lead you closer to the one true ending? You don't know, so try it and find out.
Do all of them.
Yeah, the game is good. It will tell you which ones you've done previously. So
Yes.
if you are looking to get them all, you won't be ending up repeating yourself. And you as you play, you learn 4 truths. And once you've learned those 4 truths, finding the true answer is a lot easier.
Yes.
And it makes a lot more sense when you play it. But it is one of those games where you will be doing the same thing quite frequently in order to be able to progress. But it is fun enough that I didn't mind.
Also Fox.
Also a fox, yes. Next, my number 2 game of the year
Number 2
is Mutant Year Zero:
Hey.
Road to Eden.
Yeah, a game that he's actually pushing to. Well, he has platinum.
I've platinumed it, yes. Now.
Oh.
It's the second game that.
Yes, this
On
is
this list,
this is the
platinumed.
newcomer to the list, and it literally landed on a couple of days ago when I platinumed it. So I was like, well, I've platinumed this, so I kind of have to include it, really, don't I? Because I've obviously enjoyed it quite a lot, and I've still got the DLC to go through, which is the Seed of Evil DLC. Cause
So we will, because he's mentioned the DLC, mention that when we talk about him platining the game, we're platining Asterisk. The Asterisk you can look up yourself, but
oh, it's the base game you platinum.
yeah, the base game that you platinum because you have the DLC. Cough.
The DLC gives you extra trophies, but they don't count towards the plat because they're just DLC. They're the
Yes.
DLC trophies.
Yes.
And the DLC trophies don't have their own platinum.
No, but they do allow you to get the platinum for the base game. Cough.
Yeah, that's
Cough.
very true. The DLC does help.
Just a little bit.
Not,
Hey,
not
look at this
required,
thing.
but helps.
No, it's not required. If you want to be good at the game, you can indeed do so.
Yeah, you can do it the proper way and platinum it properly.
Or you could get the DLC way, but we won't talk about that too much. I will also say this is another game with a fox.
It does have a fox in it, yes. I have a folder on my PS4 called Features a Fox. And it's now at 11 games strong.
Yeah.
Of games that have been released on PS4 that feature fox characters.
And we're not talking anime fox girls. We are talking foxes.
Foxes. Yeah.
Foxes.
And good old anthro foxes.
Yes.
All the way from Tails from Sonic Mania,
Hey.
right up to Pharaoh here from Mutant Year Zero.
Or Tales from Sonic 2 onwards.
Well, yeah, but
there's that.
Sonic Mania was the one we played this year.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, tis a fun game, I will agree. But it
means-
got kicked out
Oh.
It did
by our
not
number one.
It didn't reach the number 1 spot.
Oh. And the TigerTails Gaming Game of the Year 2021 is...
This is the bit where I've got to press 2 buttons simultaneously and hope everything doesn't break. Wish me luck.
Hey.
Spirit of the North.
Yes.
Wow, we saw the title
title.
screen for a nanosecond.
Yes, we did.
Did you press the button too early?
I
Yes, you
may have
did.
pressed the button too early. Oh. Strangely enough,
Wow. I guess this
Fox.
is Features a Fox.
features a fox.
So, welcome to TigerTails Gaming's Game of the Year. Instead of being an anthro fox, you're a real life fox.
Oh god, you play with vibration on. Jesus, what sadist are you?
I've paid a lot of money for an expensive controller that has many vibrations. Yes, I have the vibration on.
Ever watch those nature documentaries where there's a fox leaping into snow to catch a mouse? Now you can live that!
Yeah, but can those nature foxes do this? I don't think they can.
Yeah, so this could be classified as a puzzler, this could be classified as an action
An
game,
RPG.
an RPG. Well,
Not really.
Not
an RPG.
really.
You don't unlock any extra skill points or anything.
Yeah, this is very much a
It's an adventure game.
exploration adventure game. Yeah.
And we didn't really have a category for that.
I say there's a little sprite there going, hey, listen! Hey, listen!
This is your fox friend, or as I like to call
A spirit fox.
him or her. We kind of. I can't recall if I called it him or her as we went through our playthrough.
Both, basically.
yeah.
Both.
Oh, there's a stick.
A
Oh
star.
yes, because I've not yet figured out where how the fuck to get to the guy. We'll
He's
come
up on
to
the
that.
stones above.
I know, because fuck
The
him.
Giant's Causeway.
Yeah, you'll see why I get annoyed in a second.
I was looking for that stick. How come you couldn't find the stick but not the man?
Because Jules went through this section and I was watching. So yes, so this we played to completion on the stream,
Oh, really?
and this was the PS4 version.
Yep, you're now looking at the PS5 version.
Oh.
Because this game is so good, I went out and got the upgrade.
Double
Because
version.
I bought the physical discs.
Wow.
So I have the physical disc of number 4 for PS4 and physical disc for PS5.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I have got this wish listed for my PC.
Oh.
This is how much of a game that has been influenced. I can't remember how long I wish listed the damn thing for, but I've wish listed it for a fair while. And the journey that I think we both had whilst playing this was pretty impressive, because this is not the most complicated game
By a long
any
stretch.
stretch of imagination. There are things that you can explore and find in the game. So what you're seeing is just meandering through levels. There are a lot of things that you can hunt around for. We won't be able to get to the guy who has the staff in this level because he is an ass.
He's on top of one of the rocks.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so it also has the brightest fucking lighting occasionally.
Yes.
Yeah. It really upset the light balance on the original stream.
Yeah.
Because it's
Running
all
through that.
snow and
Oh,
white.
yeah.
Oh.
It's just like, oh my god, we got to dim this down, and then we got to like this section. It's like, okay, I
Re-brighten it again.
feel okay now. But the story is what you discover through the environment, very much. Trying to figure out how to get around where things are, finding the murals, which is a trophy, if I recall.
Yep.
Dealing with the antagonist that exists in this game. I will say that because that doesn't spoil anything. or the kind of antagonist, and then understanding why you are here.
Yeah, it's one of these games that doesn't tell you much until you start reading into it, and then it's told you almost everything without you realising it.
Yeah.
It's very clever with its storytelling and very subtle, which I actually appreciated.
Yeah.
It's very artsy.
It's artsy, but not in a bad way. That, I think, is
Yeah,
the thing
it's
I
not one of those
appreciate.
pretentious, stuck up its own arse ways.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Are you up there?
I'm not totally sure you're supposed to have gone up there.
No. Doesn't look like it.
Well, the game does allow a certain amount of exploration, which is why I why I shortcutted certain areas in the playthrough that we did. But this also has probably some of the best music, because I had this as a theme for the PS4 for the longest time, because I generally like having background themes, and it was really quite chill and relaxing. I think it's this music in particular in the background, which was in the background, and it just eases you into the world so well as well, having this music.
Yeah, you've gone long past the guy now.
Oh well, never mind.
You might as well carry the stick with you. You're fine.
No, because the other person's in that little fucking cubby that I can't get to from the last time.
The sticks don't belong to individual people. You can't just bring any stick to any man. Besides which, you look adorable carrying it.
Huge stick.
Yes, there is a large amount of adorableness in this game, which we'll see when oh, it's actually going blue, so you are
Not far away.
not far away. I will take my power and I will take a stick.
Stick.
I mean, you don't have to do this bit either. This is the thing. It's like you don't have to find all of the people.
There's some trophies in it if you do, but
Yes, that's about it. There are some trophies.
and if you do miss some people, you can always go back because it gives you a chapter select. Even when you're only halfway through the game, you can still chapter select,
Yeah.
which is great.
Ooh.
So he's over there, isn't he?
Is it like a leap of faith, perhaps?
No, I think I've taken the water down.
Ah.
Oh well, never mind. I am not too fussed. You can go back. I don't. That's where I came from.
Yes.
Nearly didn't make
Good
that.
grief. Oh.
There we
Yeah,
go.
this is a
There's no fall
very
damage,
sort
at
of.
least.
It's in the realm of sort of journey and
Oh, there's
flower of that sort of.
Is that a person?
No, that's a rune.
Which is not activated.
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah, it does remind me of the sort of the flower and journey style of
Yeah.
non-game game. So there isn't really a sort of a linear path to it. It's just take your time, just
Yeah.
enjoy
Chill.
the world for what it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much you do. And
Oh, hang
it's
Oh no, is that scenery or is that a chat?
a scenery there.
That's rocks.
I was going to say, don't forget, you're on a much bigger screen than I am.
Yeah, this is power,
Okay.
but it's trying to spark. So he could be close by. trying to get to him would be interesting. Or he could also be terribly far away. That's how
One of
this
those
game
where he's a
works.
tiny screen away, but you need to go like 500 miles completely the wrong way round.
Yeah,
Find
pretty
him.
much.
That sort of thing, yeah. The bane of my existence in Assassin's Creed is like, he's right next to me, yes, but there is a giant rock wall, and you need to go around it in order to find him. The only way around is 500 miles this way.
Oh, Assassin's Creed we did also play on the stream, and after watching me play it, TK went, nah, not going to play that. That's a very slow burn. I'm like, yeah, this is Assassin's
yeah.
Creed 1.
Yeah.
It's a very slow burn.
You've lost the stick.
Oh, the stick's down there.
Yeah.
It's more the power I was after.
Ying.
Yes, annoying little yippee. Yeah, sometimes temperamental.
Well, when you're Skyrim horsing it on a rock, it's not really
Yeah.
surprising.
Yeah.
Stick.
But it's just fun and calming. I don't think I expected this to be such an instant win in my head.
It did kind of come out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, same with Brothers, to be fair, but I don't think I really expected it to be like, yeah, it's got to be this one. I mean, Brothers could have pushed it. Brothers could have pushed it from how interesting and fun that story was.
Fun's a word.
Yeah, fun is a word. But it was just the fact that with this game, we started streaming and I felt compelled to try and get as far as I could. And it got to the point where you started also playing this. And then on top of that, you then introduced this game to my wife. So she's now started playing this. Oh, there it is.
Oh. Grief.
This is why.
Oh.
Possibly. There he is. That's why.
He's dead.
Yes. Watch what happens when I drop the staff off, though.
Oh, he comes back to life.
The spirit.
Ah.
See, these are monks who worship a significant thing that gets explained when you start the game, but you don't really have context until you've done a lot of work.
Oh.
So annoyed I missed. Oh, you've only missed one. So annoyed that I've missed things. Do I need
What's
to...
the next one on the list as well? Nice.
Yeah, I need to charge you. But the mechanics are like so... There we go. So easy to deal with. It's like you just charge yourself up with power and like put it into runes, put it out of runes, like that, and the world changes around you because of it. And there are other things that will be coming up in later levels that I doubt I'd get to it. But different mechanics that come from gaining newer powers. Oh, this section. Checkpoint. That you gain from different powers, and it helps you overcome the puzzles. It's so interesting, and plus you've got this world. This world. Just look at that. Admittedly, this is PS5. The PS4 was not quite like this, but it's like look at that.
PS5 is very pretty.
Yeah. It's like you feel tiny in certain areas. Because when we were playing through this, just the experience of not only playing the game but also having the visuals and the audio and the feel of everything. This is why I will happily argue that this as the game of the year, because it's just you're not going to go. It's just so. It's just got a quality that is not in a lot of games, and certainly not in a lot of the games that existed. Oh yes, I know. I need to go up there. Thank you.
It's one of those games that sort of is kind of done as like an art piece. So, for example, Shadow of the Colossus, that sort of thing, where you've got literally sort of a work of art that's sort of interactive.
Yeah, and another game that I really should try and finish.
Only not quite as pretentious as that, but yes.
Well, it's not pretentious at all.
But this is very much something that you wouldn't expect from when you first seen it. It's not something you would expect to immediately go out and get and play. Because I recall hearing about this game, and I know I wishlisted it before I played it, but I wouldn't have gone out on my way to play it until TK just basically went, "Hey, got this game with a fox in it. Do you want to play it? It's in a box set." I was like, okay. And then like a couple of streams later, I completed the damn thing.
Hey!
And I find the mechanics fun. I find the physics. It's a little bit floaty in places, but it's fun.
And sometimes the climbing is a little bit Skyrim-y.
Very Skyrim-y.
I can't find a better verb. It's a bit Skyrim-y.
Skyrim. Woo!
Well, let's put it this way. I'm a fox. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. I'm jumping up from being sat side. Yeah, we go.
Oh my god.
I defy gravity. I also am very blue. But even on the PS4, which had some graphical issues, this is fun. This is a fun, enjoyable experience. It chilled us both the fuck out, I would say, just playing through this game.
I will say it sounds great with the headphones on.
Oh god, yeah. You've got the collector's edition. I think you got 2 collector's editions. Yes, 2 collector's editions.
I've got the PS4 collector's edition and the PS5 collector's.
Ooh.
Well, signature edition, because these came from signature edition games.
Yes, and you have like the music DVDs as well. So
Yes, you get the soundtrack with the signature editions.
yeah, it's well worth it, I will say, having the soundtrack.
I was contemplating whether or not to get. I'm sure this is the way you came in. Oh no, that's a checkpoint. I was debating whether or not to get it on the PS5 as well, because we got it on the PS4. Do we really need to repeat? And then the Black Friday sales happened, and I'm like, yeah, I'll definitely buy this again. It's worth it. Now it's on sale, and the full game is just the actual game is worth it regardless. But
The extra stuff.
The jump from PS4 to PS5 isn't huge.
And
I could live without it. But the fact it's the physical version, I want the physical version. I want to be able to play this game for years to come. And there's no guarantee that the PS4 or the PS5 will still work in years to come. And so by having it on both, I've got that little bit of an insurance policy. But it's just so worth having on both. It now means that, Mr. Xavier's wife can play the PS4 version in the other room, and I can play the PS5 version in here. So
Hey! Everybody wins.
Everyone can be a fox. And we also find out, what does the fox say, Mr. Xavier?
Bark.
There we go. That's what the fox said.
You bark. You don't yip too much. There are some touching heartstring moments in the game. I will point out. Oh
Especially
yeah,
chapter 2.
the fucker's in there. I don't know how to get him out. Yeah, there are some
Or where
heartbreaking
his
moments.
stick is.
Yeah, fuck the stick. It's like, God, I don't care about the stick. That guy, trying to get to that guy is a nightmare. It's like, hey, look,
Oh, yes, I remember him.
you need to get over here. Thanks, Navi.
Hey, Nathan!
But so this is our game of 2021 of games that we have played. And I gotta say, I had not expected that we'd be doing this, to be honest.
What, a Game of the Year awards?
A Game of the Year awards. No, I had not expected that TigerTails Gaming would get a Game of the Year awards. And I will have to say, I did not expect one to be playing games like this and Brothers, amongst other things. And I did not expect for this kind of game to be one that would go, yeah, that's my Game of the Year. I mean, it's just been phenomenal. I mean, there's stuff out there that people have talked about, such as the Outer Wilds, which I keep looking at. And I go,
yes.
I don't know if I really want to invest that large amount of time.
Well, is that the game that's close to this idea of sort of Subnautica, where you're a lone person in a completely different world and you've got to find your way off?
You are a lone person, and there is a lot of stuff that you are doing. That I can confirm. But you can't go too deep into the story for Outer Wilds because it does spoil a good chunk of stuff. So you kind of have to be careful about what you say.
Well, I've not played it. I've only seen
Yeah.
brief snippets of other people playing it, but that's it.
Yeah, I've seen people complain. I've also seen people speedrun that game, and it's like,
Oh.
sweet mother Jesus, how? But I mean, this I did not expect for TigerTails Gaming to get to the point where we do this.
Oh, do you know what this game also has on PS5? I don't know if it has it on PS4,
What's that?
but if you press, I think it's right on the D-pad. It might not be right, it might be
No.
up.
No,
One of the buttons, there you go.
photo mode. Yes, it does, because Jules kept on going into photo mode by accident.
I say so it is on the PS4. So yes, you can take a photo of Skyrim Fox.
Hey!
And use the share button to take the photo, I think.
So what's...
Oh!
different...
Yes,
Different
Fox?
shades.
you get
No
different
fox.
foxes. Or you can turn the fox off, yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, the fox isn't wonky, the world is. Depth of field,
Ooh.
which doesn't work when you're zoomed out like that.
No.
Good grief.
I've just completely confused the controls
Yes.
now.
I'll teach you to...
It's because the controls remain, but the...
Yeah, you've made the world wonky, so congratulations.
Does that work now? No.
Not yet, you need to be closer.
Bugger that.
the brightness.
That's the spot.
Particle effects.
Yeah.
Ah. Vignette.
Yep.
Crane up.
Oh.
Where's the zoom?
Whoa.
And yeah, I think.
Yes.
Sure.
And take screenshot.
No, because that actually has all of the
Yeah,
shit.
you wanted to press triangle first to
Ah.
hide UI. Now you take your screenshot.
Hey. Photo get. Well done.
Never done that on the PS4.
Oh.
It is very
I'm
cool.
surprised there's not a trophy for. Take a photo.
Surprisingly, no. Surprisingly, no. So I will avoid going into a particular area because that will start spoiling shit. Ah,
Way!
forgot about that.
You
It's
blasted
like,
into the water.
So as we're now wrapping up for this year, TigerTails gaming for this year. How have you two felt and found everything's gone?
We didn't break it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you didn't break it. I'm quite glad.
I'm quite surprised.
I mean, I will say that I didn't do as much as you guys did, but I think with the stuff I did, I think it was fun. I got to play Tokyo Highway Challenge again, which is something that I haven't played for a long, long time. And that was one of those games where no matter how old it was, it kind of held that real sort of pang of nostalgia because it was criminally underrated at the time. And I think this is probably going to be one of those games as well where probably there's very few YouTubers that will actually sort of play it online, and it will kind of go sort of in that niche community, and then eventually years later it will be sort of like rediscovered and found out to
cult
be sort of
classic.
like, yeah, exactly, yeah.
I hope so, because this is a very good game. And I think that's partly the thing that when I said I wanted to do a gaming channel, initially it wasn't really on my mind. I just wanted to do gaming on YouTube. But now it's like, I very much would like to play games that are interesting and games that will do stuff. And I hadn't expected to find things like this. You know, I hadn't expected to have a connection between a fox and their spirit guide. I honestly hadn't expected to have a situation where I'd pick up a game like A Brother's Tale of Two Souls. Tale of Two Sons, sorry, wrong franchise. And suddenly, that was the sequence to make sense of the next bit. Okay. Just make me go, oh wow, this is really cool as a game, rather than it's like a single thing. I mean, I have completed Sonic Adventure 1. I need to finish the videos for Sonic Adventure 2 to make sense of my disparated nature on Sonic Adventure 2. Fuck. That's fine.
I get a feeling you didn't want to do that.
No. But it's been a lot of fun doing the bits and pieces for TigerTails Gaming, and even this has been really quite fun. So I would be very much interested to do this again.
What, Game of the Year?
Game of the Year at the end of the year.
Yeah, it was fun for you. You went up until 2 o'clock in the morning putting everything together, getting OBS to have all the...
Do you want to know what our original idea was? Top 5 games, TK. That was our original idea. I was quite happy with that. I didn't expect us to get 9 fucking categories. Somehow it went, oh, we're going to do 9 categories. We need to put the... What? Okay.
I must admit, all the kind of thumbnails and everything, all the graphics on screen were very much a last-minute decision.
Yes.
And
You weren't up till 2 a.m. I'm doing the stuff that I decided to do.
Yeah, he walked into that one.
It was a case of, this will. What we needed some graphics. Let's put some graphics on there. That'll look nice. Because otherwise it's just going to be not much going on.
Aside from maybe some gameplay, which originally that we were doing.
Yeah.
But in terms of games as we go into next year, because we're still going to be stuck indoors mostly, I think, for next year, even with releasings and unbindings of restrictions. Because we've briefly mentioned some ideas, because I would be interested in some multiplayer couch co-op stuff.
Ooh.
So would I.
And the reason I mention that is because of a particular game that you bought and I don't think does multiplayer couch co-op, but the franchise does have in its history.
Oh, are you talking about Overcooked?
No. Oh, that's also another good one that we could do multiplayer.
Yes.
But Turtles.
Yes. You're right.
Teenage
That doesn't
Mutant
do.
Ninja Turtles.
I must admit, I thought it did, and it doesn't.
Oh.
Much to my annoyance. But it does have a tiger in it, so
Ooh. It does?
yeah.
Really?
Not a playable character. Granted.
Oh.
It is an opponent, but yeah.
Ah, you mean the one that references the new...
Yeah, it's the
Nickelodeon
Nickelodeon
one.
3D
Yes.
TMNT.
Ah.
So yeah,
So
things like multiplayer.
Come on, Skyrim Fox, you can
Cooperative.
do it.
I mean, we also re-looked at Streets of Rage again because that's
Oh,
Yeah.
multiplayer, stuff like that. We've historically done a few other things, but not properly finished those series. It was talk over things. Mystery Game was another one.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I want to do more mystery games.
Yeah.
I also want to bring some more esoteric games in.
Ooh, some more esoteric games.
Yes,
is it?
because we've done some.
He doesn't know what esoteric means.
He's gonna slap you because he's the grammar Nazi
He's the
writer.
wordsmith coming off, yeah. But yes, because we've done a few mainstream games. I mean, this is on the more esoteric side of things.
Yes.
I like more of this, basically. It's games that not many people will be aware of, that we can kind of shine a bit of a light on in our own tiny way. Yeah.
Esoteric means it focuses on one thing only.
This is focusing on a fox. This game is esoteric. As you can see, fox. You've been seeing fox for most of the time we've been playing this.
Yes.
The other time you've been seeing bits of scenery as Xavier waves the camera.
Woo.
There we go. Yeah, I want to see more hyper-focused on the unusual.
And there are some really nice indie games that I've been keeping, because there is one PS5 game, PS4, PS5 game that is that cat one, Stray Cat one, that I think
yes.
would be quite good if we can get that. That would be fucking relevant for us as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
relevant.
the Stray Cat game, right?
No, it's really compelling. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to actually trying to be a bit more regular with the streams for Stream and Chill. Doing our current run of trying to complete things on Friday game on the Friday streams, because we have things like Legend of K,
Yeah.
Mutant Year Zero, Dead Cells, and Ty the Tasmanian Tiger that we'll be trying to do. But we'll also have games that we'll introduce as let's see what they're like. And obviously Friday Night Fights, which will be making a return because both myself and TK are rusty as fuck at fighting games.
Yep.
All good fun.
Well, we've had a couple of months off of those.
Yeah. I know, we're going to be so bad. And then anything outside of that is always good fun. So I think this has been a success.
I think so.
Good success.
Yes.
Apart from the minor technical glitch at the start, thanks to OBS being useless.
That's fine. But I think we'll wrap up here because we are now at 25 past 10.
We haven't even done the 90 minutes yet.
Yes. Well, I hadn't expected to be going this late, but we have kind of abbreviated what the original idea was, which was just top 5 games and then play our selections, play some of our selections. Although I don't think we anticipated both having Spirit of the North as the game for this year.
No, not until we decided on it. So I was like, what is your... I mean, it reminds me of when we did our PlayStation 2 game rundown back in an earlier season of TigerTails Radio,
Yes.
where we both chose our top 10 PS2 games.
Yes.
And independently, we both had Final Fantasy X at the top of our lists.
Yeah. But to be fair, there was a reason for that for me, which was it was the game that I bought a PS2 for. That was the thing. So, that's kind of how it went for that one. But
I
yeah,
remember buying Final Fantasy X in Woolies many moons ago.
Good grief.
Yep, that long ago, when Woolworths was still a thing. And walked out of Woolies. I thought I'd just have a quick look inside the box, just check out how shiny the disc is. And the box was empty.
Oh.
They'd sold me an empty box.
ouch.
So I went back in there and said, "Excuse me, can I have a game for this box, please?" And they were like, "Oh my god, we're so sorry." And plopped a disc in there for me. And I was like, "Thank you."
And I also have a lot of classics that I have been given for Christmas and birthday presents that are sat to my left. Zone of the Enders being the series, and that I would like to do for next year as well.
I mean, I would like to bring back the concept of social gaming.
There's this weird thing that he invented.
Myself and Hedge attempted a thing many years ago, which we called social gaming, and I found the old recording kind of test files for it.
Oh.
And I was like, this is terrible, but brilliant in its own way. As a concept, it's brilliant. I like this. So I'd like to see if we can, probably live, we'll basically just sit down with a couple of games and talk about them socially.
Oh, yes, that was when we tried to get people to come in and basically sort of join us.
Yeah, and play games with us.
Yes.
And bring in their favourite games.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to take a photo of the Sleepy Fox?
Don't mind me.
Are you just playing with the sparkly particle effects?
Don't mind me.
Okay. Don't forget to turn off the UI before you take a photo.
I will.
We have lost Xavier to photo mode.
Still doesn't seem
But yes, I would like to bring in more retro games as well.
Oh, okay.
Because we've done a lot of PS2 games, but we can go earlier. We can go far earlier.
Ooh.
We can go so much earlier.
Well, I'd definitely like to bring in some retro, not retro, old school driving games.
Oh yeah.
So things like Vigilante 8 on the Dreamcast or and that sort of thing. And also, we could also bring in...
We're going to end up with more categories by the end of next year, TK. We're going to
I
end
can't
up with more
remember the
categories.
name of it, but I will eventually remember it, and I can't remember it now. So
That's fine. It's like 10:30 on New Year's Eve.
yeah.
What do you expect's going to happen now?
Yes.
But I think we need to start wrapping up. So this is TigerTails Game of the Year 2021 of games that we played, and this is Spirit of the North. The first time we've done this, surprisingly successful, and we've been doing well for this year, I gotta say.
I mean, it'd be nice if we had some more subscribers. Cough, cough.
If you've enjoyed any of this content, feel free to leave us a like, and if you want to see more, subscribe, and we will be doing more as we go into next year, 2022.
If you want to suggest games for us to play as well, then drop them in the comments, poke us on Twitter, on TigerTails, at TigerTails Gaming, I think. No, is it Team TigerTails?
Team TigerTails on Twitter. Team TigerTails.
Yeah, at Team TigerTails.
Yes. So, next year.
God, that sounds like it's so far away.
wow.
It's an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
So on Monday will be TigerTails Radio, where we'll be back to talk about not much because
I'll probably run down to 2021. How
Metropolis Street Racer, that was the game.
there we
The
go.
Dreamcast.
On Wednesday, I will be attempting to do a stream and chill.
Woohoo!
We can do that a bit more
Is that more
regularly.
Alpha Protocol?
More Alpha Protocol. I
So that's going to be in next year's category as well then?
Yay!
need to fill out the categories now. And then on Friday, we'll be back with TigerTails Gaming, streaming on Fridays for the first stream of 2022. No idea what that is, because the board hasn't been updated. That's fine. If you want to find us elsewhere, you can do so at tigertails.co.uk, tigertailsradio.co.uk, tigertailsgaming.co.uk. You can also find our podcast, Ramblings of a Grey Muzzle, at greymuzzlepodcast.co.uk. But with that, my name is Xavier Wolf,
I've been TK.
And I have been Hedgie.
and we are signing off for 2021.
We will see you next year.
Thank you for playing.